The old schoolhouse stood on the edge of town, a skeletal silhouette against the bruised twilight sky. Its windows, once bright with youthful chatter, were now vacant, staring out like the empty sockets of a forgotten skull. Locals called it Blackwood Academy, though no one remembered it ever being an academy, or even a school for that matter. It had been abandoned for as long as anyone could recall. A hushed legend whispered in the shadows. I, Elias Thorne, a history enthusiast with a penchant for the forgotten, found myself irresistibly drawn to Blackwood. The town, Hemlock Creek, was small and sleepy, its residents wary and tight-lipped about the building's past. They'd point vaguely in its direction, mumbling about strange noises and uneasy feelings, their eyes darting away as if afraid of summoning something. Armed with a flashlight, a notebook, and a healthy dose of curiosity, I approached the academy on a chilly autumn evening. The air was thick with the smell of damp wood and decaying leaves. The front door, a heavy oak monstrosity, creaked open at my touch, a low groan that seemed to echo the building's long silence. Inside, the air was stale and heavy, clinging to the back of my throat. Chalkboards were still covered in faded scribbles, diagrams of things I couldn't quite decipher. Rows of empty desks sat in orderly lines, as if the students had just stepped out for recess and never returned. The dust coated everything, a thick blanket of forgotten time. As I moved through the decaying classrooms, I noticed a pattern. In each room, tucked away in the corner or behind a stack of textbooks, were peculiar drawings. Not childish scrawls, but intricate sketches of strange symbols and intertwined lines, like a language I didn't understand. They were unervingly detailed, imbued with a sense of purpose that felt both intriguing and unsettling. The closer I got to the center of the building, the more intense the feeling became. The silence seemed to press in, amplified by the rhythmic drip-drip-drip of water from a leaky pipe somewhere above. I found a library, its shelves groaning under the weight of forgotten books, their titles obscured by mold and decay. I ran my fingers along the spines, feeling a strange vibration in the wood. In the back of the library, I found a hidden room, its door concealed behind a bookshelf pushed slightly askew. The room was small, almost like a closet, and in the center stood a table. On it lay a single book, bound in leather, its cover devoid of any markings. Felt warm to the touch, almost alive. Hesitantly, I opened it. The pages were filled with the same symbols I'd seen drawn on the walls, along with handwritten notes in a spidery script that seemed to writhe before my eyes. The language was old, archaic, yet somehow familiar. It spoke of a different kind of learning, of harnessing energies and manipulating realities, of things that defied conventional understanding. This was not an ordinary school. As I read, the room began to hum, a low, almost imperceptible vibration that grew stronger with each page I turned. The air became thick and heavy, and I felt a strange pulling sensation, as if something within the pages was trying to draw me in. Fear, cold and sharp, pierced through my curiosity. I slammed the book shut, the hum instantly ceasing. I knew then that Blackwood Academy was not just abandoned. It was deliberately left behind. It was a place where something strange and dangerous had been nurtured, something that still lingered in the very walls. The drawings, the hidden room, the book, they weren't clues to a mystery. They were warnings, red flags fluttering in the wind of the forgotten. I backed out of the room, my heart pounding against my ribs, the book clutched tightly in my hand. I didn't dare to venture further. I left Blackwood Academy that night, not with answers, but with a chilling realization. Some secrets are better left undisturbed. The book sits on my desk now, a silent, menacing presence in my otherwise orderly world. I haven't dared to open it again, but I can still feel its thrumming warmth, the faint whisper of a language that calls from the shadows. And I know, with a certainty that chills me to the bone, that Blackwood Academy, despite its abandoned state, is far from finished with me. It's a place that doesn't simply forget. It waits, and I fear, with a mounting dread, that it is waiting for my return.